Za bakalářský studium na Stanfordu dáte 6 milionů korun. Je to jedna z nejprestižnějších univerzit na světě, umístěná v Silicon Valley v Kalifornii. Studenti, kteří tam chodili, založili firmy jako je YouTube, Google, Netflix nebo Nike. Dneska nás životem na Stanfordu provede můj kamarád Elvis, který tam studuje, a řekneme si, jak se tam dostat, jak to všechno zaplatit, a podíváme se na ty nejzajímavější části jejich kampusu, včetně jeho pokoji na koleji. Jestli vás tohle zajímá, tak si udělejte pohodlí a dívejte se dál.
Dude, this whole campus looks super relaxing.
It's California, man.
How does one get into Stanford? Do you have any tips, tricks, or anything that I can do to prepare myself?
So how I got into Stanford?
Yeah. Usually have like hot chicks on the top.
Right. Too bad. It's a frat.
Stanford. I mean, for $70,000, they don't even have elevators in the doors. Here we're on the Stanford campus today with Elvis.
Hi, I'm Elvis. I'm a first year at Stanford.
And Elvis will show us around and tell us all about his life here at Stanford. So if you're interested, continue watching this video. Elvis, how did you get into Stanford?
That's a great question. I think there are definitely different reasons. First, academic. You need to, be pass certain grade points and demonstrate you have good capabilities to learn and absorb information quickly. And also, I guess I showed how I'm also into other things that I was really passionate about design, architecture when I was in high school, and later on I did a science project to tackle the air pollution crisis, which is a crisis I really cared about coming from China. And I also took a gap year to take an initiative to sort of work on a company based on my research.
Did it help to be in the Forbes 30 under 30 list?
I guess that helped a little bit.
Was that a part of your application?
It was.
On the front page?
Yeah, it was. They have a word section where like what did you earn?
So you show all these awards and your projects and your portfolio.
And hopefully you have teachers that liked you, that didn't write bad things about you.
Right.
And so that's really important. It's to be nice to your high school teachers.
Be nice to your teachers' kids.
Yeah.
But then you'll get into Stanford.
And then you will get into Stanford. Yep. But there are definitely a million different ways to get in.
Where are we now?
So we are at the main quad. Here, I think there are a lot of classrooms, mainly for arts and sciences. I think mostly sciences, that's sort of the math corner, so I take all my math classes there.
Over here, right here?
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
And then that's sort of the history and social science, so a lot of the...
I love how U.S. universities, you can choose, you have a major and a minor, and you can switch around.
Yeah, that's one of the cool thing about just liberal arts education in general, and also Stanford really specifically emphasis on is sort of you have a broad spectrum of flexibility where you can choose a lot of classes from, but also you have like a major where you maybe later, like second year or third year, you started focus on one singular object where you can delve really deep into. But they do definitely want you to take a variety of courses on different departments. We actually have requirements where you have to take sort of classes outside of your major. The one thing about Stanford is it's really, really big. So that's why everyone bikes.
So how does one get into Stanford? Do you have any tips, tricks, or anything that I can do to prepare myself?
One is like nobody applied to Stanford thinking they're gonna get in, right? Because statistically, it's not the most probable thing, and I think
is it like one in 100 or something like that?
Well, I think now it's 4 in 100, but it's going lower and lower every year. I do think like there are certain traits or things Stanford really look for.
Yeah.
One is it's very cliche, but it's called intellectual vitality, which essentially means how.
What's that?
I know, it's an interesting phrase, but essentially it means how you kind of think intellectually, not even in an academic setting. Essentially, like if you walk around the street, if you have a normal conversation, do you sort of think deeply and think intellectually on like your daily life and try to discover like meaningful things just through like small encounters with the world. I think that's the whole point, is you have to show them how you think in a way, which is really hard by just writing. But I think also just by your track records, like what did you do? Did you study sort of outside of your classroom? Because they really want you to see that you took every opportunity possible in high school. And sort of go above and beyond what's taught in high school. Essentially. Yeah. But every student sort of have their own path. I know students that's sort of veterans. They fought, in wars and came back to school. I know people who like grew up with no parents, and they really struggle through their K-12 career, and they also need to balance like helping their siblings, doing things that like normal students may not do. But if you can show that you have the resilience to like optimize your opportunities, it doesn't really matter where you come from. Like Stanford definitely tried to take in context of what your upbringing.
Okay. And now that you're here, what does it feel like?
It's been, I would say, 1.5 quarter, so about 5 months, and it's definitely a quite humbling experience. I'll put it that way, just by talking to students and professors and everyone's stories and how they make decisions, how they overcome struggles. All of those stories, I think it's quite humbling, and just seeing sort of the smartest people of like my generation, it's really like learning from them has been like tremendous.
What was like the most famous person you had in a lecture?
We had a guest lecture, not a guest lecture. It was more like a seminar with Bill Gates last quarter.
Of course.
Last week.
Was it in the Bill Gates building by any chance?
It wasn't, but
it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Wait, so when he gomes to teach to Stanford, he doesn't even teach in his own building?
Yeah, which is kind of a shame. But I don't think he got a pick. So, last quarter, actually, there was a class where Elizabeth Holmes was sitting on the back of the class, which is kind of.
I thought she was in prison.
Well, not yet. We'll see what happens.
She was sitting in class, like listening to.
I wasn't in that class, but my friend was, and she was apparently still friends with the professor.
Did she have handcuffs? Or okay, I'll stop.
So you see people like that all the time. I think Stanford definitely gave you a lot more sort of the entrepreneurial edge, which doesn't really mean anything, but I think it's just this immense amount of self-belief that Silicon Valley has. Sort of you can do something that may sound crazy, but people will still take you seriously.
So like, how much does it cost to study?
I think it costs around $70K, which is a lot. So basically, if you demonstrate that you need financial assistance, where you need financial support based on your parents' income, your household asset, whatever, they will give you however you need to pay for the tuition.
Okay.
So
once they accept you, if you need financial aid, they will provide that aid.
Yeah.
So it's $70K for tuition, and then plus you.
That's it. That's including.
Including rent for your dorms.
Yeah. Exactly. I think a lot of my friends are very grateful for the structure, and are able to afford the college. People just started using Tree as our official mascot, I guess. It's a very competitive process to become the Tree. Like you actually have to do a different, like every year there's 2 weeks that's called Tree Weeks, where people sort of sign up and try to become the Tree for the next year. And they have to do crazy stuff to sort of become the Tree. Like they have to, tattoo like tree on their bodies, or they have to camp outside the library for 2 weeks and dress like Donald Trump or something.
Then they're allowed to be the Tree.
Exactly.
Would you do that, David? Would you put Tree?
Absolutely. That was my lifelong dream, to become the Tree of Stanford. So I was thinking right here, like that.
Yeah, that'll be.
Or maybe like on the face, like.
Maybe on the face.
Is Stanford overrated?
Is Stanford overrated? Yes or no? Depends on how you do Stanford, I guess. Like there's really like no one way to do college or to experience universities. If you take advantages of all the resources you have, that's my personal opinion. I think you can get great things out of it. But I mean, Stanford is not for everyone. You definitely need sort of this more like adventurous kind of spirit where you take, really put yourself out there and take advantages of things.
Čau, pokud znáte někoho, o kom si myslíte, že tohle video bude relevantní, komu se bude líbit, tak ho prosím nazdílejte. Pokud se vám video líbí, tak vám prosím dejte like, subscribe a tak dále, aby ho vidělo víc lidí, aby se na něj nedívala jenom chudák sama moje mamka. Díky moc, pokračujeme dál.
What do you think would happen if I don't study at Stanford, but I just decide to, I don't know, drop into a class?
I think that's fine. I think I know people who, you know, I see older people or professionals all the time, and
they just drop it.
Yeah, they just come in and they listen to the lectures.
Is it true that Stanford/Ivy League universities are full of rich kids?
Short answer is yes. Long answers and it's yes and no.
Okay.
Like sort of just look at a statistic. There's definitely way more people or way more students from like the 0.1%. So this is called Meyer Green, which is I guess just
Wow.
Which is like an area where people sort of relax and sunbathe, I guess. Yeah, so this is a more relaxing area where you know you just chill.
Dude, this whole campus looks super relaxing.
It's California, man. And this is the law school, so this is the law library where most law students hang out.
Let's go check out your dorm.
Let's go check out my dorm. So this is my dorm. So we have 80 freshmen, 80-ish freshmen living here.
You have your own room?
I do have a room.
Yeah. Can we check it out?
Of course. Yeah. It's kind of messy-ish.
It's okay. It's gonna be authentic.
It's gonna be authentic.
You know, on YouTube you have to be authentic. I heard.
You're right. Yeah, so I have to climb 3 floors every day.
I mean, for $70,000, they don't even have elevators in the dorms. What the fuck?
So, welcome to my dorm.
Hey.
So, most people have doubles.
Okay.
But I have a single.
Wow. Privileged.
I know, very privileged. Hey, people. Wait, just give me.
Yeah. Just to clear out the alcohol bottles in case his mom watches the videos.
So yeah, so that's my room. Alright. It's still kind of dirty.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a nice.
Dope, man.
Yeah, for Palo Alto price, it's pretty good.
Dope. You have like a living room, lounge here,
Exactly, so
the bedroom, the
yeah. So a lot of my
office.
friends just come hang out, and I do my work here sometimes.
Oh man, and you play table tennis as well.
That's more of a beer pong, but but I do play table tennis.
Table
Don't
tennis.
tell anyone.
Table
Don't
tennis.
tell anyone.
Sweet. You have like a communal area?
Yeah, yeah. We have a lounge we can go, and we can just go to the dining hall from there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
So this is like where like a lot of clubs advertise their activities. It's like parties, stuff like that.
Usually have like hot chicks on the top.
Right. Too bad. It's a frat.
It's Stanford.
So this is like our lounge area where people hang out.
Wow.
But I mean, it's a Monday, so everyone's busy.
Everyone's sleeping?
Everyone's busy, I guess. Like
Yeah.
classes. Or sleeping. So this is the dining hall where like most people eat.
Okay.
Dining hall.
And corn. Actually, I'll have everything.
Everything?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Alright, we're just having lunch here at Stanford at the dorms, Elvis's dorms, Stern, and we met Charlie.
Hey there.
Charlie's a good friend.
And I thought it would be great to hear how Charlie got into Stanford as well. So here we go.
So how I got into Stanford?
Yeah.
I think that's a loaded question that is difficult for anybody to answer. I think that my list of experiences before coming to Stanford didn't make a ton of sense. Like, I had done a lot of things that didn't really fit well together. Like, I'm really passionate about writing and the humanities, but at the same time I had done research and chemistry. I was really excited about science. And throughout all this, I think my main passion was pursuing Chinese, the language, and learning about its culture.
会说中文吗？
我说中文，可是我需要练习。Yeah, so I think the only real connecting line between the things I had been involved in was just a willingness and excitement to throw myself into really ridiculous situations. And one of which that I talked a lot about in my application was competing on this Chinese game show during my senior year, which was kind of this international reality TV show where they brought in students from across the world who had been learning Mandarin, and I was the United States, but I got to hang out with representatives from Mozambique and Nigeria and Kyrgyzstan and Estonia, and that was a really defining
Was it on TV?
thing for me. It wasn't China.
So, it's two celebrities, guys. Two celebrities.
But now a lot has changed since I've come to Stanford. I've really refocused on my real passion, which is environmentalism and being outdoors and learning more about nature.
And benefit everyone. Whoa, I've actually never been here.
Cool.
Yeah, I guess.
Can I try? Alright. Alright guys, this is it from Stanford, and I'll see you at the next one.